And that's another thing I want to point out is that if you're sniping, you need to find gear that works the best for you.
Yep.
And it's not always a uniform type special. Now, for instance, Max provide KJW M700. I found little compass pouches work, but then I have a web gear belt on. Now, that I also have is to the result of that. I also have a English medic bag that I carry off to my side. I can drop 6 mags in there, plus some BBs as well, and it's compartmentalized in 2 halves, so I can put fulls on one side and empties on the other. So I think it's important that you find what works the best for you. And
for the VSR users, I noticed that double pistol mag pouches work great for your mags. They fit right in there to the 9mm, 45 caliber, whatever. This is a Pantac or Phantom, same different company. Double mag pouch, an OD. It carries both my mags perfectly, nice and tight, and I really have no problem with this. Besides the fact that it's Velcro and it does create somewhat of a lot of noise. That's why I don't carry this on my belt. I usually just throw it in my fanny pack.
And the other thing about Velcro is, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe sand, if you're rolling in sand, Velcro doesn't attach very well.
No, it doesn't. It loses a lot of its like properties.
Catches a lot of jute.
Yeah, it catches a lot of jute here. And if I'm rolling in water, it gets all mushy and whatnot. And
okay.
It doesn't.
So a recommendation for our users, you guys would recommend zippers?
Yes.
Or buttons?
Zippers or buttons would be the best.
Okay, great.
Another thing you want to make sure is that it's tight to your body, because like the sniper, you can't have anything that'll limit your mobility, and you can't have anything bulky. Everything that's on your body needs to be streamlined with it. It needs to be pretty much the exact contour of what your body is, so that way you don't have a big pouch that will limit you if you need to be in an awkward position to take a shot or two. So.
And, well, I want to talk about the next thing, and I think it's very important that every sniper has, and, well, I'm going to say gloves. I don't know if you guys want to agree. I'm looking at everything on the table here, and I think gloves are probably one of the most next important things on this table.
I would say so, yeah.
And what we have is we have a couple different types here.
Let's see, I have
Oakey, what do you got here?
These are just fingerless winter gloves. I like wearing these because I like to feel the trigger of my rifle. It doesn't feel as bright as it does when I don't have gloves on or when I have gloves on. So during the winter, I'll usually go like this with my trigger finger out of the pouch, where at least it keeps most of my hand cold or warm. And if they get cold, I'll stick it back in here.
So it's like a mitten glove.
Basically, and then sometimes if I don't roll with the glove, I'll put face paint on my hands, so that my skin doesn't give away my position, which is a big part of what gloves also do. It's more of like a camouflaging factor for me than it is a comfort.
Now, Mosin over here is putting on some paintball gloves.
Yep.
And those are what, JTs?
Yeah.
And it looks like you cut the fingers out?
Yeah, well, I used to play paintball on a semi-professional level, so these were the gloves I rolled with for the while that I was. But as soon as I got into Airsoft, I figured they can work. I did a little bit of spray paint over it so it wasn't bright green and with white on it. It's all just dull colors that blend, in my opinion, pretty seamlessly. So it looks pretty good in the field. And again, like Oakey said, I like to feel the trigger of my rifle as well. So with them being cut off, I can still feel that, and they just work good.
Now what I have here is a pair of Oakey tactical gloves. These are really hard to find. If you have someone that has a military connection, they can usually get them from like usstandardissue.com, and they can log in and get these. Now, you guys have checked these gloves out, I take it.
Yeah,
and
I'm a pair of those gloves.
I like them because they are carbon fiber reinforced knuckles. I mean, not to say that I'm going to go and knock someone out with them and not have to worry about feeling it, but they're also leather bound around it. The palm is made with a I'm not sure what kind of membrane material this is, but it's really nice because it pulls the sweat away from your hands so your hands stay dry, even in the summer and in the winter. Now in the winter, I noticed my fingers they did eventually get cold about maybe 45 minutes later, in 7-degree weather, but they really kept the heat in my to my hand for a good length of time. Now, color seems to be an issue. Now, I noticed you have like a woodland type.
Yeah, this is like a mossy oak type flash here.
You have a black with a green on it, and I have a tan. Now, what I'd like you guys to do is take your gloves, and I want to put your hand up to your ghillie suit, and let's see how well they blend. Now, here's mine here, and this is another important thing that when you're sniping, you want to make sure that your hands are blending in with your ghille suit as well, because if it's something that looks foreign object, not compared to what you have, it's going to stand out.
That's a big issue with me as well, because I've been trying to find some new gloves. And these are just for the winter, much winter. It's cold out, and I haven't really been thinking about it much, as this is more like the airsoft off-season.
Yeah.
And
which is a good thing, because we don't play that often in the off-season.
Right.
So we have more time to do podcasts.
It doesn't blend bad, but it could be a lot better.
Right.
So
another thing for viewers who don't have the military connections, if you go to ebayband.com, I believe you can get a replica version of these for around $32-ish.
Okay.
And I was actually considering ordering a set myself. They're currently out of stock at the moment, but he said they should have them in within the next week or two. So if you're looking for that, eBay band.
And that's another thing, is if you got someone for a military connection, these retail for $70 a piece. Oakey gives military discounts on those. I believe those are going to run you about $40 of shipping. So the next thing I want to talk about, I think we've covered everything on the table here. Well, besides the radio, which I think is very good for communication.
Absolute necessity.
Now, with this one, this is nice because this has a headset adapter on here. I frankly don't use mine. I keep my volume turned down to the lowest level. And I really don't care about who's transmitting to me because I just don't answer them. It's just how I play. And then I only transmit when I actually spotted my target or wherever I need it. Because a lot of times you hear a lot of people go, we need a sniper here, we need a sniper there. And if you try listening to all those commands or those requests that are coming through, they're just going to have you running across the field all day, and you're just going to wear yourself out.
Right.
So that's how I play. I just take this radio, and usually I have a pouch. Sits about right here. Drop it right in, and if I need something, I just reach over and I click the button, and I tell them what I need.
I also carry a radio. It's a Midland XT305, I believe is the version. And I have a headset for it, but I find it that not many people around at our sites use radios as much as I would like them to. So it's the fact that not a lot of people use them. I would like a lot more people to use them. That I don't usually use mine as much as I would like to, or as much as I need to. I plan on purchasing the Bowman replica. I forget the manufacturer, but it's about $80 on Red Wolf, as well as rsob.com. And I've seen that in real world operators using those. So, I mean, there's a lot of options out there for your radio, and if you just have to take time to look and compare it to other people who may have a different, like, that's Motorola to talk about. I mean, the two-way radios usually give the same amount of, like, what you need out of them, just for airsoft.
I think it's best to probably stick with what your team or your group is running with, and everyone get the same type of band, whether it's FRMS or GMRS radios. Now, one of the other things I noticed